Alright, what's going on, everybody? This video, man, is something that I hate to talk about. I hate to talk about things like this. I know that, people make the argument, oh, you're giving them more attention by doing things like this, but I genuinely think this is something that really needs to be spoken out about. Not only is this a horrible example being set for content creators, people trying to make videos online, things like that, the story itself is just outright terrible. I mean, it's insane the extent that people will genuinely go to get just a little bit of attention online. I mean, we've covered all kinds of different topics like this on the channel, from people dancing on dead people's graves to, of course, like licking ice cream, all these other crazy things, right? That, like, most people think are just, like, they're not fathomable. But this is one, man, that just steps over pretty much any line and boundary that you can draw. I mean, there's no way to justify this behavior, in my opinion. I can't understand how anyone would, like, sit down and, like, mentally process this and be like, yeah, this is a good idea. This is what I want to do today, how I want to spend my time. I guess the best way to kind of break this whole thing down is to just kind of jump into this topic. Before we get into that, though, I do want to remind you, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new, follow me on all of my social outlets linked down below, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, a woman on Instagram who apparently has gained a pretty good amount of popularity not only has had a pretty big run-in with the police recently, but also has now faced charges criminally because of some actions that she, I guess, has been portraying online as quote-unquote jokes. Some sort of funny thing that she's trying to put on. It's not funny whatsoever, and when we get into the details, you'll find out why, but new video exclusively obtained by Insider shows what happened the night that police officers confronted Instagram star Brittany Johnson, aka Lovely Peaches, about threats that she had made concerning her dog online. Body camera footage depicts Johnson, 20, telling DeKalb County police officers that she threatened to kill the dog for followers, quote unquote. Johnson was detained in DeKalb County, Georgia on an animal cruelty charge on January 22nd. She has since been bonded out and has been posting again on social media, including Instagram, where she has 146,000 followers. In the body camera footage, an officer can be heard asking Johnson why she made threats against her dog. Quote, "Because I knew it would get me attention on the internet," Johnson said in a response. Okay, so, I mean, you hear that, right? And, like, what normal human being do you know would even consider doing something like this for some online attention? There's no normal person, I think, on planet Earth who's gonna, like, look at that possibility, right, and be like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. That sounds like something I should do, right? Now, the vast majority of us, right, like, if we see a dog die in a movie, we're already moved to the verge of tears, if not outright crying, right? But when you think about the possibility of somebody legitimately harming animals because of, what, some attention on the internet? Doing absolutely insane things, right? It's crazy to think about, right? Because I don't know how many of you have dogs or animals in your house, right? But they legitimately, like, if you, I guess, handle it right, they become pretty much part of your family, right? That bond that you can have with an animal, man, it's unmatched. Like, it's genuinely a bond that you can't, I think, find even with people. And to see people out here who legitimately, like, just for followers on the internet, right? Like, for Instagram followers or a YouTube check or whatever, are willing to put animals in distress is absolutely insane. Obviously, this has already led to criminal charges against her at least once, as just a few weeks ago she was detained for an animal cruelty charge, bonded out. I'm gonna assume that her or a friend or, like, family or something decided to bond her out. I'm gonna be honest with you here, man. Like, let's say my kid, right, got in trouble for this. It would never happen because, honestly, I'd square my fucking kid up if they did something like this. But, like, for the sake of argument, let's say that. There's no fucking chance. Quote, "That's not the attention you want," another officer then said to Johnson. "See police here? That ain't the attention you want." A police report obtained by Insider in February said that Johnson sprayed perfume in the dog's eyes and picked it up by its neck while live streaming on Instagram. Police say they responded to a call from a concerned onlooker and entered a motel room Johnson was staying in with the dog to remove the animal and question her. Now I'm going to go ahead and show a picture right here on the screen for you guys. You can see her and the dog. Now, this is obviously like a smaller dog, right? It's not acceptable regardless of the size of the dog, but when you think about, like, the difference that, like, I would say maybe, like, the pain threshold or, like, the amount of physical stuff that, like, this kind of dog could take compared to, like, a Great Dane or, like, a German Shepherd, it's not the same, man. Like, you should never pick a dog up by its neck, obviously. Like, you don't just grab anything by its throat and just lift it up, right? That's not the acceptable thing to do. But, I mean, you fuck around with one of these smaller dogs, man, and you grab them wrong or, like, you do something wrong, you can kill them very easily. I mean, You just can't be doing shit like that. Like, what kind of person sprays perfume in a dog's fucking eyes? Like, what kind of person do you have to be to, like, consciously do something like that? And then you gotta think about the fact, too, right? Like, perfumes and these sprays and stuff, they have a lot of harsh chemicals in them, right? There's a reason they test this shit on animals, which is messed up in its own right, obviously, but they're doing that because there's chemicals in that shit. You can't be spraying that in your eyes. You can't be spraying that in animals' eyes. That shit does not go in your eyes. Like, there's obviously no way of doing that without causing some sort of physical harm, especially to an animal. A small dog like this, man, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? On Instagram, Johnson claimed she threw the dog out of a window, causing its death. She also claimed to have broken the dog's legs. When officers confronted her, Johnson said that the window in her room's bathroom didn't open, and that the statements she made online were, quote, jokes. As you can see, he's fine, food right there, Johnson told the officer in the video. The police officer speaking to Johnson in the video also asked if she wanted to keep the dog. Johnson said that she may give it to her dad, who she says she's hoping to build a, quote, good life for, along with her daughter, who is not in Johnson's custody. A spokesperson for the DeKalb County Police Department told 2Fab in a statement that, quote, her Jack Russell Terrier was taken into custody by Animal Services, where it was examined by a veterinarian. So, it seems that the animal is out of her control at this point. It seems that the animal has been taken away. I would hope that they did not give this dog back to her, or realistically to anyone that she has contact with. Kind of hearing this story, it doesn't surprise me that her daughter's not in her custody. I think it's probably the best possible scenario that she doesn't have any control over anything living. Now, let's take a look at the line. As you can see, he's fine, food right there. That's not the only thing that your dog needs. I don't know if you know this or not, right? But just feeding and watering a dog isn't necessarily taking care of it. I mean, when you're spraying fucking perfume in its eyes, threatening to kill it on the internet for, brownie points by weirdos, that type of shit, man, that's not taking care of your animal, okay? That kind of, in all reality, it negates all of the good that you do for the animal. Like, oh, well, I feed and water it, but I also, spray perfume in its eyes, or say I'm gonna break its legs and kill it. Like, that doesn't necessarily make you a good dog parent, right? I feel like that's literally the bare minimum that you can do for the animal, is to feed it and make sure it's got some water, right? That doesn't mean you're taking care of anything. Is there a reason you do what you do? The police officer asked Johnson. She responded, quote, so a label will sign me and I can live good. I mean, it makes sense. I want a good life for me, my dad, and my daughter. There's nothing wrong with that, but some of the antics you pulled on your Instagram, it's not normal, the officer said. I know, but that's why I have so many followers, Johnson said in response. She also told the officer that she's been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and that she has over 1 million followers on social media. When asked if she made any money from her accounts, Johnson said she makes about $1,000 a week from sponsorships. Johnson has also been releasing original music and promoting it on different social media platforms. She's released multiple music videos on YouTube and has over 24,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So, the clout chasing is unfortunately working, I guess. People are following this shit. Who the fuck is following somebody who does this, right? Like, what kind of person follows that? I think about the accounts that I follow, right? I follow, I follow a bunch of rappers. I follow a bunch of athletes, right? I follow other content creators and people that I watch or whatever, right? There's really people out there who are following fucking animal abusers on the internet, who are, like, proud of it, who think that this is a career path. What goes through your brain when you're like, you see something like this going down, and you're like, yeah, this is something I want to follow and get updates on and be a part of? And I can only imagine that her music is probably just awesome. Like, she probably makes some straight up bangers, man. Like, I'm pretty sure my playlist is missing out on the fucking talent here, right? Now, if you couldn't tell, a little pinch of sarcasm there. I'm not totally being legitimate when I say that, but you can apparently literally do anything on the internet for attention these days, even to the point of legitimately being a terrible human being, right? Like an animal-abusing piece of shit. I mean, let's just keep it $150 here. And you're apparently rewarded with thousands of dollars a month in sponsorships and a music career and all this. Now, as someone who I've taken a stance in the past, right, of being, like, anti-canceling sponsorships, with, like, the whole Keemstar and H3H3 thing where they were, like, kind of losing sponsors over it and everything, I was very against the idea and the concept of people kind of attacking creators' sponsors as a way of, like, canceling them for opinions or things that they say online. But I mean, I think being viewed as a bad guy on the internet, on YouTube and Twitter, is much different than someone who's legitimately putting other living creatures in harm for their own personal benefit, for literally for content. It's just not the same. I can't imagine any company like knowing this is going on and being like, let's sponsor that. Like, hey guys, today I'm gonna be breaking my dog's fucking legs apart and putting it through physical pain, but I wanna remind you guys, this video is sponsored by Shop Opti. Go get all that Optimus merch that you can, right? Like, you would never see that because that doesn't make any sense. I can't even understand, like, because companies, as someone who like does sponsorships, right? Companies look into the content that you make beforehand to see if it aligns with like their brand and like what they can sponsor. So there's legitimately companies out there that know that this woman is doing this shit, and they're like, yeah, let's sponsor this. Let's put our brand on this. Absolutely bewildering to me. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. What do I even say? And signing out. You've seen cool stuff in your life before, but you've never seen cool shit like this. Introducing Horser. Are we sure what it is? Not really, but is it interesting? Absolutely. Optimus, what do all these luxury cars and videos of horses and nature have to do with Horser? They're specially crafted in that order to make you want to buy shit. To make you think to yourself, oh, this Horser brand represents luxury and wealth and nature, and I need that. So fulfill the advertisement's role and go buy it. Horser. Keep it on you, or some shit like that.